Let's create GifMeme. This is just an idea that I have, and what I imagine it to be is the ability to make memes with GIFs, which, I mean, that already exists. But, I mean, you take a GIF and it makes a static image by taking a few frames from the GIF and then putting a caption on it. I'm going to try to build this just with ChatGPT. I'm not sure that it's possible because I have a couple open question marks. One, can we actually make it so that we can do that without any sort of back-end server stuff? I'm trying to do it all in one page from a static HTML file. I do not know if that's possible, but we're going to try. If we have to do a back-end server, maybe we'll do it. But let's try to do it just like this. All right. So my plan is make it and then ship it. Pretty straightforward, right? I don't know, this is some random note app that I just started using, and it's pretty cool. So it works. All right, let's dive into it. First thing I'm gonna do is just search for GifMeme to see if anything just comes up. We've got a bunch of options for GIF stuff, but I don't see like anything that's making me say, oh, this is already done. It probably is. Not that this would stop me, but it's nice to see. I probably shouldn't have done that looking back, because if I would have seen something, it would have stopped me from doing it, and that's not a good reason not to build something, because I'm not even building something for production. I'm just building it for the heck of it. So anyway, I probably shouldn't have done that. But I did, and it's good news. Now, I'm tempted to go and Google if some of this stuff is possible, but I think I'm just gonna ask ChatGPT to do it and see what happens. I'm gonna start with just create a one-page website so that it knows I want something simple. I wouldn't normally put it in bullets. I'd probably just write it, but in this sense, we'll just make it easier, and I'll go ahead and bullet it. Normally, I would just write it out in a paragraph, though. I want to style it with a retro GeoCities look, because obviously that's important. Let's call it the awesome GifMeme generator. I'm going to say let a user upload a GIF file. I'm tempted to give it the exact instructions of like have an input form where users can do this when they click a submit button. But I think I'm just going to make it really simple and say this, and let's see what happens. Okay, I'm not sure what to do here because I'm tempted to put the whole thing that I want here. And in the future, that's probably good. But because this is a bit complicated, I'm tempted to make it really simple now and say after user uploads a GIF file, display the first frame on the screen. Something very straightforward that it might be able to do. If I do it like the more complicated way, it would be after a user uploads a file, like split it into even 4 frames and display it in 4 different ways. And I'm not really sure how to say that. And this is a weakness of like, this is my own weakness. And actually, a lot of people growing up who are going to be programming using this method, I think are going to be really good at explaining concepts simply in a way that AI will be able to understand. Whereas I still think about it from a technical standpoint. So I think I'm going to try it the simple way first and then create advanced layers. I'm also wondering if I should build the features that I want now. Like I want to put some text on the bottom like a meme. But do I say that now or later? If I say it now, it might get tripped up and I might have to do more work. If I do it later, it might struggle a little bit putting things in, and it might take some more back and forth. I think I'm going to do it later because I want to focus on this GIF file problem and see if it's even possible. So I suppose if I were making a note about this and if it was a real plan, let's say I had a next actions list, I probably would do something like can I even do this with static HTML? That's what we're going to find out first. All right, and here we go. Yeah, that's probably just because I'm not signed in. Let me try again. I hope I didn't lose that prompt. It was pretty good. I'm trying to find my prompt by searching for it in the HTML now because I'm afraid that it's going to lose it and I can't find it. All right, take a breath. Try again. Oh no, look, it's back. All right. Okay, I didn't lose it. Good. All that for nothing. It looks like it did stop generating though. So I'm going to ask it to continue. I find this part fun because I'm just wondering, is it going to work? Like, will I have something that I can work with on this, or am I going to have to complete search? When I was doing this at first with ChatGPT 3.5, it was just a crapshoot, right? You never knew if you were going to get something that worked really at all. But with GPT-4, it's pretty likely something like this is going to work. So let's see. It does say this is very basic and might not work for GIF files. Might want to use a library. So we might need to go find a library or ask it to find a library for us. Is probably even better. So I'm just going to take the code here and I'm going to copy it into Sublime, which is a free editor, as it likes to keep reminding me. And then I'm going to save the file and open it up in my web browser. Save it as index.html. That way if I put it in with GitHub, which is owned by Microsoft now, but if I put it into a GitHub Pages, which is basically free hosting for one-page websites, then it'll work because it's named index. Just in general, index.html is the way to go. Just it's the standard. All right, so we'll just take this up here. This is index. We'll drag it. And, oh, well, hey, that looks pretty cool, but it took over my entire thing, which is not what I wanted. I guess I can't drag it on there. Well, we'll try it like this. I mean, this is pretty good. I really like that black and green. It's pretty awesome. Clearly, this is the GIF to use here. I have had this saved since 2013 when I was a GIF hoarder, so this has been a long time coming. All right, I'm gonna open it up. Let's see what happens. Okay. I don't know that that's the first frame of it, because I think it kind of like wiggles in, right? But we've got a starting point, and it's ugly, which is always positive. So I'm feeling good. We have a step in the right direction. I'm trying to see like what happens if I open this image in a new tab. It's a static image, so. Of course, web developers are probably, if not that there's anybody watching this anyway, but a web developer would be like, duh, it's the file blah, blah, blah API created in 1992. Like, of course you can do that. But this is pretty cool. Somehow there is a cached file on my system that it created of a frame in that GIF. And that might be enough to get us where we need to go. Because if we take this and we put them next to each other at different things, then it gets there. I'm already afraid. I'm already afraid because I'm thinking about how do we have a nice border? It doesn't need to be nice. These are memes. Let's just get it done. So we're gonna put this here in the middle so that we can see it at all times, and we can move this over a little bit, like here, because we don't really need these notes. I just think it's kind of nice. And now we've got everything laid out. I'm just going to remove these annoying messages. Oh, sorry, that was loud. Move these messages here from ChatGPT. And now it's gone, though. Actually, when we came back here just a second ago, this was gone, the ChatGPT thing. So there must be some error going on now. Let me see if I can bring it back up. All right, it's back. So we're back in progress. So now what I'm thinking is I want to know well, first I want to check my assumptions. So I'm going to go find out what the first frame of this actually is. All right, I'm going to cheat here and just open it up in QuickTime. And because QuickTime lets me see, or wait, it's not QuickTime, Preview. Listen, whatever they're called these days. Because we can see each frame individually on here. Okay, so the wavy thing is at the end. This does seem to be the first frame. So that's good. So I checked my assumptions. It does seem to be working. Now I want to create 4 different ones, because I just make it really simple in the beginning and just have 4 4 images, and I'll probably just do like this first, downward dog, whatever. And then we'll go from there. I'm going to stop rambling. I have to remember that I'm not editing these. And so normally I would say something like I just said, like, oh, I should stop rambling, because that's sometimes how I talk. But then I would go and edit it out later. I'd be like, I should probably cut that. That is not value adding. So sorry that you have to hear that. I just did it again by apologizing. You know, at this point, I'm actually thinking I might give it, since it does seem to be working, I am thinking I might tell it what I want. It's just surprisingly hard for me to explain some of these things. So I want it in quadrants. Is that the word, quadrants? 4 panes. I'm thinking about it like a window. Like, how do I describe this in a way that it's going to understand to put the things right here? It seems straightforward, but I'm finding describing it rather difficult. This is what I've come up with for getting the 4 images. And I'm thinking the first frame, the last is the last frame, but then we have ones in the middle. And right now what I'm saying is the 25% in and 75% in. Now this does mean that we will miss the middle 50%. So I might want to change these percentages a little bit. But this is what I'm going to try first. Let's see if it understands it. All right, this is what I came up with. A 4-box grid? Is that what it's called? I don't know. So I'm also describing specifically what I want here. Where the first image is on the top right. Oh, actually, it's going to be top left. The second image on the top right. Third on the bottom left, and the fourth on the bottom right. And I might as well say what that I want a border while I'm doing this. Like have let's say a 10 pixel border around every image. And I think we want white. Although, you know what would be fun? Instead of white, a completely random color. So have a 10 pixel, have the border be a random bright color. Yeah? That way it's kind of fits this whole GeoCities, the theme here. I'm in a GeoCities kick. Speaking of, we could make the text that goes over it, the text that goes over it the same as this, maybe. Might be too much. All right, let's say a prayer and make it go. Oh no, it's saying that I need a library. But why was it able to do this other one? I'm thinking we don't need a library. Hobbs doesn't either over here. What do you think, Hobbs? If we were able to do the first one, we should be able to do more. That's my opinion. I'm going to tell it that, maybe. I just went and got some water, and I thought, I'm going to make some cookies tonight. Then I realized I do not have milk. And I'm a little upset about that, but I'm going to let it go. Or make an emergency convenience stop visit. Okay, so it told me that this is not possible, that I have to use another library to do it. But I am going to argue with it for a second. And it does feel a little counterintuitive to argue it with an AI. But I found that sometimes you argue with it and it says, oh, I'm sorry, I can do that. And my theory is, as I'm thinking about it, I haven't seen exactly what this is doing here. I don't know if this 00 is the frame or something, but I'm imagining that maybe there's a way to just get the frame, and if you can get the first frame, couldn't you get the last frame, and then couldn't you calculate? This might not actually be possible, but I'm going to try to get it to say that it is. So I'm going to try that. It is definitely pushing back, so we might need to get one of these GIF libraries. It'll probably make it easier anyway. All right, I'll go get the library. Fine. So I'm actually, I don't know which library to use, and so instead of going and looking, I'm just going to see what's more popular right now. That way, because the training data is a couple years old, so I'm going to see. I think the other one was called GIF.js. And so we're going to see which one I should use. Actually, none of these are used all that often, it seems. This is the past day, though. So let's go look of the past 5 years. Wow, these are like not used at all. So I'm probably going to do a search also. Let's just do a search of JavaScript GIF library. Well, whoa, that looks good. Look at that. That's a cool website. Oh, that's nice. That's so cool. I love this. I'm gonna use this one because it looks cool. And also it can do things here. It can render, you can set the quality, you can dither it different ways. Yeah. Okay, well, I guess we'll just use this one. It says it's full featured. So I'm just going to grab it from GitHub, just going to go to code, and I'm going to download it. So I just copied it into the assets folder, which again is so that it works with GitHub stuff. I'm just planning ahead in case I make this live. It's only 13 kilobytes. That's fine. That's a pretty small library. So I'm telling it to implement it using GIF.js, which it seems to already know about and recommended, so great. And then all I need to do is tell it where it is, and which we just did that. And assets, and let's go. Once you start doing videos like this, you start realizing that you say the same thing over and over. Like I probably said, let's go before every single thing. So it's a good habit for me to watch this and realize you should mix it up. You should be unpredictable. Like next time, say something like sporty because nobody would expect that. Be like touchdown or whatever people say in sports. Man, this is getting slow. Come on, OpenAI. I got things to do tonight. I want to get to bed at some point. All right, we've got it. And, I really like that it explains. And, so it says it's using the file reader API, which is what it was using before. And then it passes to the GIF constructor, and then it does this. And it's actually nice just to understand what's going on. So I try to read this, and then I usually will just take a glance at the code here so that I'm like, okay, I can see that, okay, yeah, the file reader, then it's passing it to this GIF, which is probably the GIF.js. It's saying the first frame, 25%, because it's got the frame's length here, and then the last one, -1. Probably because it starts with 0. I don't know. I'm not sure why there's a -1 there. So that would be an example of something that I don't know why it's there, but if it didn't work, I would probably try something different. But it's probably going to work. So yeah, this is, we also have our random border color here, because you can see math.floor. Whenever you see math.floor, math.random, it's going to be a random something here. So hopefully that makes some nice bright colors for us. Let's move it over and see what happens. This is already at 18 minutes. If you have gotten this far, please comment or something. Is this where people beg for comments? Is this why people beg for comments on YouTube? I want to know if somebody got this far. Is there anybody that's going to get 18 minutes in this video? You are a saint. You have the patience of a walrus. I don't know why I said that, but I guess that they are patient. All right, I've refreshed. We've got 4 green boxes here. So, you know what? If I refresh it, is it going to be a different color? I think it will be. No. Okay. So we've got 4 boxes. I think this is where our images are going to go. I'm a little disappointed that there was a new one. Maybe it'll change the border. It's going to change a border inside a border. All right, anyway, let's see. I'm just making this longer. All right, here we go. Welcome to the internet. What's going to happen? Nothing. Nothing is going to happen. Of course, nothing is going to happen. Why would it work the first time? Okay, so let's check our console. Oh, well. It's looking for GIF.js.map. Always go to the console first. This is a bit... So I didn't actually look at the instructions for how to use this library, which I guess I should have done. It also needs a .map file. Why don't you just put it all into one file? Why? This isn't my fault. Okay, so I've put all the files here. I don't know if I need them all. I'm still not going to look at the instructions. Some of these are a little bigger. So it adds up. So it's like, what, 100 KB all said and done. So, okay. Half of one of those old 3.5-inch floppies. Half? No. Those are like a meg. I don't know what I'm talking about. Like 10%. See? It's fine. All right, here we go. Demo number 2, now that we have the right files. Hopefully. Not that I looked. All right, let's look at the console. We have an error. Unable to execute this. So let me ponder this. You know, I pondered it. I don't know. I'm just going to tell ChatGPT and hope that it can fix it. It's already apologizing. It's giving me a number of warnings about handling GIFs in this way is not straightforward with vanilla or GIF.js. You might need a more advanced library or server-side solution. I don't want that. So we're going to keep hacking on this because there is a way to do it. And I do not want to set up a server. We're not setting up servers. It's like the one rule. We are not setting up a server. So the code that it gave me isn't going to do all of the fun stuff that we just did. So I'm going to put this new code in here and comment the old, but just keep it handy because it's not going to do what we want. But we should get a single frame here again, like before. But we're not. So we're checking some assumptions here. Invalid image. All right, we've got some new code coming through. We got a new error that the width and height need to be set. So getting that next. Interesting. And now it's not working because of a security rule. So what's happening right here is it uses web workers, but they have the same origin policy. Which is good for users, you know, it keeps things sandboxed and you can only load things from certain servers if it's on the server. So it makes sense, but is extremely annoying in this instance because I do not want to create a server. But I don't want to do this, but maybe I'll have to. Well, I guess this is where my old Linux skills will need to be used. I'll see if I can remember how to do this. Okay, I think I might have a little Python server running. Let's see. That's not working. It's localhost port. So port, you do a little :8000. Hey, okay, all right. Okay, look at this tiny little server up here. It's got things and everything. Python, you amazing little thing. All right, maybe we're back in business. Oh, my Mac's about to die, so plugged in the last second. The charger shuffle. All right, cross your fingers. Why do I do this? Okay, this is gonna get boring, so I'm gonna pause it for a second and see if I can figure this out. All right, I cheated a bit and put it in the main directory. And so now we're going to test it. Please work. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm praying to right now. Okay. All right, we got an error, but that doesn't matter. I think it's okay. It's trying to load this map file as well, so I'll move that over. But we do have an image. So now I wonder what these little 4 boxes are anyway. Oh, it's the HTML and we removed the JavaScript. Okay. We're about to get back there. We're back in business. So now that we have this working, I'm going to paste in the old instructions and see if we can get there. And it's complaining. No, you can do it. You can do it. No. All right, I need to convince it now because I'm sure that it can. I'm actually not sure. But I believe. So I'm just going to tell it you can use it and to simplify it and see if that gets where we're going. It's saying that I'm right. That's always a good sign that maybe it'll try it. I think the image that we're running into, just even looking at this, is these what I thought were just like div boxes here, they're actually images. And so I think what the actual problem is that this library doesn't know how to make it into like one image or move it into different images. Something around there. But we can get it. I have descended into reading Stack Overflow of people saying that what I'm trying to do is not possible or extremely convoluted. The first frame is pretty simple, it seems, but beyond that is not looking good. Okay, this is very funny. Take a moment to read this. I'm not sure this is going to work for us, but I do like clever people. Okay, I don't know. Whoever wrote this, I love this person. Like, they basically say this is the least efficient LZW is a compression algorithm. I'm pretty sure. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. And then I love this line. There are several easy optimizations that would make this much more efficient, but there didn't seem to be a point in doing them. Same thing with UI improvements. The source code is a bit of a mess. This person right after my own heart. And it's my bedtime. And with that, either this will never see the light of day because I'll never come out to the other side, or I will just leave it on this complete cliffhanger. Will we ever get this going? I have no idea. We'll find out tomorrow, even if I make a part 2. Thanks for following along to the 3 people who got this far. Good night.